वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवके परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Right. Chapter 2, and we're still continuing the verse 16. Okay. Nasato vidyate bhavo, nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah, na bhavo vidyate satah. Ubhayorapi drashtontas, Ubhayorapi drashtontas, Tvanayos Tvatpadarshibhi. The unreal has no existence, and the real never ceases.
Dilip, we can't hear you.
My mic
Dilip,
is
we did not hear you. You were breaking up.
my mic is connected. My speaker is connected. Microphone muted. Can you hear me? Okay. The, okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay.
I could.
The unreal has no existence, and the real never ceases to be. The truth of both these has been perceived by seers of truth. Nasato vidyate bhavo. The real never ceases. I was talking about that diamonds forever. So, the real never ceases to be in any place, thing, person, action, incident, circumstances, state, and time, etc. Real, the Sat, remains Sat always. And that's why here it has given the different examples or the option, be it any place, be it anything, be it any person, any action, any incident, any circumstances, any state, any time, real remains real. Sat. I mean, this is the loose translation. Let's consider Sat as Sat. Okay. The reason is that the place, time, and thing, etc., are unreal, kaleidoscopic, but the real ever exists, eternal, all the time, the same. It remains same all the time. In it, there is never any change. Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah. It never ceases to be. Therefore, the real is ever existent. You know, by different example and different arguments, you can say the interpretation or interpreter of this particular verse, as we know that Swami Ramsukdas ji wanted to tell that Sat is eternal, real is eternal, non-perishable, and what is unreal is transient, To whatever extent we may deny the existence of Paramatma. There are some people, atheists, they don't believe in God. Okay? What we call in Vedic terms, Nastik. So, whatever extent we may deny the existence of the Supreme Soul, to whatever extent we may neglect Him, H capital, that's why the definition of Rakshas, demon, okay? Rakshamiti Rakshasa, I can do, I will protect myself, I don't anybody. That is the Rakshas. That is the Rakshas attitude. So, to whatever extent we may neglect him, to whatever extent we may have disinclination for him, to whatever extent we may disregard him, to whatever extent we may contradict his existence by giving arguments, but he never ceases to be. The non-existence of the real is not possible. No one can destroy the imperishable entity. No one is eternal, is eternal. And that's why in the Vishnu Sahasranam, one of the name of Bhagwan is Anadi, beginningless, which has no beginning. It's there, Anadi. And another name is Ananda, endless. There is no end. There is no end. Ubhayorapi drashto. Seers of truth have not created the real entity, but they have seen. It's their experience when they were in meditation. When they were in the experiencing of fullness, it perceived the truth about it. It means that non-existence of the unreal and existence of the real, the truth of both have been perceived by liberated, enlightened soul. Yeah, we have, argument, but why can't we see? Yeah, you need to go through that process. You need to go step by step. And you have to, not you, we have to make capable of that. Enlightened souls who perceive only the real entity, realize the self-evident, and realize the self-evident. What self-evident is? Asti Che. The base of the unreal is also real, and the truth about the real is also real. By knowing this, in the view of the exalted souls, no other entity except the real entity is remains. It's this look, this but tricky. This is but requires more attention. We have to be attentive. But basically it tells about Sat, the eternal, and Asat, the transient. That we must understand. And that in that concept we have this word Deh and Dehi. Deh is body. Sharir and Shariri. Sharir is body. And Dehi, who resides in, that's Atma. So, the Deh, Sharir, body, is perishable. And Dehi, Shariri, the self, is imperishable. Is all the time there. Is all the time there. The unreal has no existence. This is true, and the real never ceases. The real never ceases to be. This is also true. It is the duty of a striver to accept this truth. A striver may have this realization or not. He must accept this fact. Seer, striver, the Rishi, or those who have decided to develop themselves or progress themselves on the path of spirituality. What they have to accept? They have to accept the fact that the unreal has no existence and the real never ceases. Okay? The world. In this world, despite the appearance of both existence and non-existence, Sat and Asat, there is predominance of non-existence. Yeah, we can see everything. We know that. We have this today, and tomorrow it will not be. It may not be. In God also both appear, but there is predominance of existence in the world within non-existence. There are existence and non-existence, and in God within existence there are existence and non-existence. In other words, in the world within eternal disunion, there are union and disunion. Ah. I know this. I know this. You know, when it comes to this kind of high level philosophy, okay, sometimes whether we understand or not, sometimes whether we will see think are we on the track or we losing the track, doesn't matter. Just try to, if you are reading, yeah, you'll be getting the book also which I am using as a main reference. It's already bought, it's already there in India, my house, okay. Now it's a matter of bringing here from there. It will come. So what I'm saying, whether you reading that or whether you're listening to that, initially for a couple of times you just read it for sake of reading. You just listen to it for the sake of listening. Doesn't matter whether you understand or not. Doesn't matter. But you will achieve that state. You will achieve that stage. Then you will say, yes, now at least I do understand what it means. I mean, look, let me tell you the truth. I mean, look, you the member of my Gita class family, right? Okay. My father has given me one commentary on Gita quite a few years back, and that is, the name is Gita Dohan. Okay. I tried reading. I am reading since years together, but that particular interpretation is very difficult for me to understand. Still. So, don't disappoint, okay? Don't disappoint. We are studying that scripture for that even the enlightened soul, the wise man, the saint, has even accepted that. Still, we could not understand fully. So who are we? So don't worry about that, right? Okay. So, in the world, only non-existent persists, while in God, only existent persists. Okay? Right? On this note, I'll make you think on it, and I will make you to read when it comes, when you will get the book, okay? And we will be starting the next verse, 17th. Okay? Avinashi tu tadvidhi. Avinashi tu tadvidhi. Yena sarvamidam tatam. Yena sarvamidam tatam. Vinashamavyayasyasya. Vinashamavyayasyasya. Na kaschit kartumarhate. Na kaschit kartumarhate. O Arjun, know that to be imperishable, by which all this world is pervaded, for none can bring about the destruction of the indestructible. Avinashi tu tadvidhe. Here tu means indeed. Here tu means indeed. Indeed has been used to explain Sat. What Sat is? Eternal or the real. The real, okay. And Asat is described unreal, okay. The Bhagavan advises Arjun to realize that imperishable entity. He explains that this entity is abstract. By calling it abstract, abstract is paroksha, indirect, and direct is pratyaksha, okay. The Bhagavan means to say that this abstract, imperishable entity is pervading the whole world, which appears as separate from the entity. Only this all-pervading entity exists, while the world which appears to exist does not exist really. We, I mean, in day-to-day practice, and then there's, it is, whether it is true or not, but the saying is about Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya has given that, I mean, it's a whole few verses, but it's very well-known saying is Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya. Brahma, the supreme reality, is the real truth, okay? Jagan Mithya, the world is unreal. That is his saying, okay? This is the loose translation I gave you. So, it is said that Shankaracharya was just walking from the street, and all of a sudden he found that elephant started running. So all on the street, those who were there, those who were walking on the street, they started running, and they wanted to go out of this way. Otherwise, elephant is elephant, okay? It was not controlled, elephant. So Shankaracharya ji also started running. By that time, Shankaracharya was very famous, and his slogan, Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya, also became very famous. So, one of the wise men asked him that you are saying that Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya, that the elephant is mithya, is unreal. What is real? He is the supreme reality. Then why you were running? Why did you run away from that path, from the street? Shankaracharya, highly intellect. He replied very wisely. He said, yes, as you say, the elephant was unreal, so as my running was also was unreal. You got my point. So basic idea is, Bhagavan is emphasizing here, because Bhagavan has started teaching and preaching to Arjun from the verse, seventh verse, in the same chapter, in the seventh verse, Arjun took the refuge and accepted the discipleship of Krishna Bhagavan. Shishyaste sadhi mam tvam prapannam. So now, once the Arjuna has accepted his discipleship with the Bhagavan Krishna, then Bhagavan Krishna has to take him slowly, because the whole where the whole the confusion or the conflict started, because Arjuna was under that impression that if I am going to kill them, this is going to happen. And Bhagavan has to explain him that this is your dharma, this is your duty. And so many questions, one after another. Arjuna is Arjuna. If he's going to ask, right? If he's going to ask, then Bhagavan has to make him doubtless. And that's why in the last chapter, Arjuna commits that, what we always sing in the conclusion of our Gita class, Nashto moha sotrilabdha tat prasadan maya shuta. So my illusion has gone. But it took time for Arjuna to understand. I can't use the word for Bhagavan Krishna to explain. But it took time for Arjuna to understand. So Arjuna, who was direct with Bhagavan, it takes time for Arjuna, then again who are we? So don't disappoint. Okay? Don't disappoint. It will come true. Okay? Right. By the tam tat. Tat means that. It is not mean to say that Sat Tattva, the real, stands afar. But it means that it is not a subject of senses and inner sense. Yena sarvamidam tatam has been used in the Gita. This particular word, yena tatam sarvamidam tatam, this is used in the whole Bhagavad Gita couple of times, in fact 3 times. What does it mean here? It is used for the imperishable by which the whole world is pervaded. Again, our most favorite is Ishavasyavidam Sarvam. The whole world is covered by the real, by the Almighty. So, which the whole world is pervaded. It is described with the view of Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya is knowledge. Knowledge. This has been described at different time in different chapter. In the 8th chapter of also it has been described, and the used word for Bhagwan is Param Purusha, supreme reality, who can be attained by exclusive devotion. How do we attain supreme reality? In the 8th chapter, Bhagavan has told, by exclusive devotion. Even Shankaracharya, again let me tell you, I have shared this so many times, that Shankaracharya was a Himalaya of intellect. In knowledge. But Shankaracharya has mentioned in one of his stotra that moksha karan samagraya bhakti reva gariyashe. For the liberation, there are different instruments for the liberation. But the best is bhakti reva gariyashe. Gariyasi is the superlative degree. Superlative degree is Gariyasi. The best is bhakti. And here differently Bhagavan has told in the 8th chapter that who can be attained by exclusive devotion. Again, in the 18th chapter also Bhagavan has told there is description by whom all is pervaded, which also is with the point of view of devotion. Look, normally the scholar, the wise man, the saintly people, when it comes to Gita, they talk about 3 things: Gnan, Karma and Bhakti. Gnan is knowledge, Sankhya, Karma, actions, and Bhakti, devotion. Gnan, we can always try, but up to what extent you will understand, we don't know. Karma, actions, when it comes to karma, it should be selfless, but end of the day, we are human, so it doesn't matter if we do the social work, we still want to be acknowledged. Vote of thanks. I would like to thank so and so because he has put one nail. When we were in process of putting the garland or the toran. So, action supposed to be selfless, but end of the day, as I told you earlier, we are human. So what is the best for us as a householder? Again, the bhakti. But bhakti, what we call, is not even that easy. Avyabhicharani bhakti. When it comes, we will discuss avyabhicharani bhakti. One cannot be traitor in bhakti. Avyabhicharani bhakti means that, But we will discuss when it comes after a couple of years, The abstract entity is described here. This whole world is pervaded by imperishable entity, Ishavashavidam Sarvam. And then, the commentator tried to explain us through example, as ornaments made of gold have nothing but gold. Be it ring, be it bangles, be it chain, but end of the day, what is there? It's a gold. Weapon made of iron. Have nothing but iron. Pots. We have the different pots. Pots of clay. Have nothing but clay. And in ice. Ice can be in the different shape. Okay? But there is nothing but water. Similarly, the world is pervaded by Sat, real, imperishable. So, in the world, there is nothing to be realized except the real. What we need to know, what we need to achieve in this life, being a human, that we need to know first of all ourselves. And that's why Socrates has told, know thyself. Who am I? From where I have come? What is my goal? Where I will be going? विनाशमव्यस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति. The Atma, the spirit, the soul is imperishable. Nainam chindandi shastrani. It will come. In the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan has called the spirit as well as himself imperishable. Okay? Be attentive what I am going to describe now. Be attentive. Okay? In the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan has called the spirit, the self, the Atma, as well as himself. Himself means Bhagavan, Paramatma, as well as himself imperishable. But the difference is that the Bhagavan incarnates and conceals himself by his free will, while the spirit means self, Atma, seated in a matter, takes birth and dies because it identifies itself with the body. When we say my body, that means body and me are separate. But we are so attached it was disconnected. Okay, alright. Yeah, now we're back to normal. Okay. But we are so attached. So that's why we think body is me. And that is the difference between self and higher self. Atma and Paramatma. Otherwise, Bhagavan has used the same word. Okay? Right. While the body is perishable and is perishing every moment. No one can check its process of destruction, but it is perishing. It is. But whether you wage war or withdraw from it, the imperishable cannot be destroyed and the perishable cannot be saved. Yeah, we look after the body and with discipline. It does help. I wouldn't say that we must not look after the body, but end of the day, it's perishable. It has to go. It has to go. And that's why in the worldly matter, when we use the Amar, means immortal, okay, it's a relative term. Okay, we have insects and cockroach. Okay, right? In this summer, it's very likely to be seen in a house. Okay? But their life cycle is maybe 24 hours, 1 week. So, in their eyes, compared to that, humans are immortal. Right? And when we talk about the celestials, okay, we say Dev, okay. But Bhagavan has told very clearly when it will come. Kshane punye martyaloka vishanti punya. Merit, what we call in English merit, punya. When it finishes, when it completes, you have to come back. But in our eyes, they are immortal. So, immortal is the relative term. That's why it's told here the imperishable cannot be destroyed, which is Atma. Okay? And the perishable, here we can consider body, cannot be saved. Okay? Here, the word asya means that whatever reality appears in the kaleidoscopic body is because of real entity, and the self is different from the body. Okay. In practical life, we say, this is also this is what I'm going to say. This, I mean, it's but tricky, but needs to understand. Okay. In practical life, in day-to-day practice, we say, this is man, this is an animal, this is a tree, this is a house, etc. Okay. In these our statement or expressions, okay, man, animal, tree, house, etc., neither existed in the past nor will exist in future, and at present also they are perishing. We can see the tree, okay, we can see the people, okay. The house, we need the maintenance. They are perishing every moment. It can be you or me or anybody. But in them, the eternal reality, what is the eternal reality? Is. Eternal reality is, ever remains the same. It means the man, animal are the world, unreal. And what we say is, there is a man, he is a man, there is a tree, is, okay? And is the imperishable, which is self, the real. Therefore, man, animal, etc. are different, but in all of them, what is the common factor? Eternal reality remains the same. Similarly, in I am a man, I am an animal, I am God, etc. Bodies are different, but am or the is remains same. Yena sarvamidam tatam. This expression here has been used for embodied soul, while in the 8th chapter and even in the 18th chapter, this expression has been used for God, for Bhagavan. It means that the self has the same, be attentive again. It means what? The self has the same characteristics as all pervading God has. Bhagavan has told very clearly in chapter 15, Mamaivaamso jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. You are my part. Therefore, as God is detached from the world, so is the self naturally detached from the body and the world. In the Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it has explained very nicely. Asango hyayam purushaha. The same thing, little differently explained by Bhagavan in chapter 13. Upadrashta Anumanta Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara Parmapmeti Chapyukto Dehesmin Purushah Parah means within the body also resides the supreme reality, supreme Lord. He is said to be, he is there within me, right? But there's different stages, okay? He is said to be the witness. First, Upadrashta, witness. Then, Anumanta, the permitter. Upadrashta, Anumanta, Bharta. Then, supporter. Then, transcendental enjoyer. Upadrashta, Anumanta, Bharta, Bhokta. And then, the ultimate controller, that is Paramatma. Upadrashta, Anumanta, Bharta. There are different stages in our body of Atma, of Bhagavan, you can say. Okay? When it comes, we will see. And in fact, here, Bhagavan has given answers. Because it's very common, and then we very easily get influenced with somebody else that, oh, but if the Bhagavan is there in everybody's heart, why is he committing crime? Why is he doing wrong? The answer is here in the 23rd verse of 13th chapter. Upadrashta Anumanta Cha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara is there. Yeah, but when it comes, we'll see in detail after a couple of years. The self is not seated in a particular body. It is not attached to any body. But without realizing this detachment, it is following the cycle of birth and death. Okay. So, this is, I know this, today's class is and was, but hard, but heavy, but so be it. We'll get there slowly. Don't stress for anything, okay? Right? We will be concluding our today's class with chanting the 73rd verse of 18th chapter, followed by Arti. But before we conclude, as you know that in today's talk, whatever I have described, whatever I have presented, whatever I have shared, credit goes to all the wise men, and our main reference book is Swami Ram Sukdas Ji's Sadhak Sanjeevani. Okay? Nashto moha smrutirlabdha tvat prasadan maya achyuta sthitosme gata sandeha karishyē vachanam tava.